everyone, it is the Portuguese Grand Prix, and the last time they're going to be racing in Europe for F1 2022. So yes, make the most of this one then, and what a difficult track it is to finish off our European season then. Well, it's more of a pit stop, isn't it, rather than anything else for our European season. But my goodness me, then it is a tough old circuit, this one is, with, of course, the undulations there where the circuit is going up and down like a roller coaster. I was just making sure that my mic was all on, because I've had that before. I'm like, oh, goodness gracious me. No Drivers' Championship can be won tonight, but the joint constructors can be won tonight. Of course, the constructors for Alpine was won last week in Brazil in fine style. Congratulations to Gina and Itemizar and William then as well, to a certain degree, because of course William there raced for I think the first 12 races in this season. But yeah, Alpine have been pretty much the class of the field in the constructors championship, and I think that they are the first. I think they were the first team to win the Constructors' Championship this season, so congratulations to those two drivers. And of course, on Sunday night, we had our second Constructors' Championship crowned in the terms of AlphaTauri, the first ever Constructors' Championships in ALR. So very good stuff indeed there for the AlphaTauri team. They've been pretty much unbeatable, haven't they, this season in well, not just in gold, but silver, and 100% as well. And bronze, they've been very good as well, getting the points up as well. And talking of which, they can win the constructors. The AlphaTauri team can win the Joint Constructors Championship here tonight. There, so that is going to be very interesting indeed. Then, yeah. So I think they have to. I think it's like a 24-point swing or something like that. They need to, otherwise the AlphaTauri could win it tomorrow night in the 100% race, which is I think it's Imola, isn't it? But you might have to make the most of that, because by the sounds of it, Imola might be flooded by the sounds of it, as they have got all kinds of weather issues out down there at the moment, haven't they? Unfortunately, in Italy, and hopefully everyone's okay and safe, because that is quite scary indeed. Then. Also, we have, unfortunately, Kaz is not here tonight either. Kaz there is, because he's on alert at the moment, isn't he, Kaz? So, unfortunately, he's unable to take part, but more importantly, I hope Kaz and his family's okay after the horrific fires that seem to be going on over in Canada. That's quite shocking stuff to hear, and it's a bit too, it's incredible. It's very close to home, isn't it, where one of the driver and the AR drivers is involved, isn't it? Goodness gracious me. We had something similar, and unfortunately, the world's events and has affected other drivers as well this season. Of course, Tegan, who was driving in the Gold Championship for for about 4 or 5 races before the hostilities over in his country also stopped him from racing, which is shocking stuff indeed, isn't it? And unfortunately, that's the real world, unfortunately, isn't it? Which is not good at all. But there we go. But hopefully Kaz and his family is okay, and we do wish him all the best, and hopefully we can see Kaz back racing before the end of the season. Then there's only 3 more rounds to go then in the gold, silver, bronze, and 100% for F1 22. Only one season ALR have done on F1 22 this season. We started late, didn't we? And this is the longest championship in terms of time in ALR history, as I think we started back in August time, didn't we? Goodness gracious me. And of course, we're going to end in June. I think it was the last week of May, beginning of June, isn't it? Really, where we're going to be ending. And of course, there's also the number of tracks in terms of on the calendar as well. Next season, the provisional calendar has not been released to the drivers just yet. Then for season 9 of ALR, but there is the inside scoop is that the admins are looking at having a 22 Grand Prix calendar for next season, which is going to get very interesting, which is 2 less than what we're having this season. So that's going to get very interesting. Of course, a lot of you eagle-eyed viewers will be wondering, well, which Grand Prix is going to be missing then from the calendar, because there will be Las Vegas and Qatar on the calendar. Of course, they're also keeping on the calendar, according to some sources, that Paul Ricard is also going to be retained on the game, along with Portimao this circuit here. So that's still interesting stuff, but I think that it's going to be the official calendar, more or less, then plus one calendar, plus one less race, which has been taken off the calendar by the sounds of things. Then Echo coming over the grid hatch as well to finish off his lap. He's done an 18.213 to set us on our way here tonight. Of course, as I mentioned, then the Drivers' Championship cannot be won here tonight. However, as I mentioned, the joint constructors can, but of course Alpine there is one of their champions, and that is itemised on the other driver who won the Alpine World Championship last week in fine style, didn't they? So Alpine very impressive, did they? Should have and could have got a 1-2 in Brazil as well, but they are the constructors championship, and as I mentioned, they're the first team to clinch a constructors championship this season. So congratulations to them, brilliant stuff indeed. As I mentioned, though, of course the AlphaTauri team won the Constructors Championship on Sunday night with Troy and Vesely. Good stuff indeed there from both drivers. They've been pretty impressive, haven't they, over the course of the season. And Kiki has gone 6 fastest. We expect more from Kiki as this session unfolds. Dynamo Dan just tackling the infield of this Argyle International Circuit. This is I would say that this is probably one of the most difficult tracks on all the calendar, and it's probably a track that some drivers was a little probably disappointed to see on the calendar in the first place. Personally, I love it. I'm not sure if it's a good race circuit, but it certainly is a tough challenge to really get this nailed down, isn't it? Jenner currently fast at the moment, the only driver in the 17s at the moment, coming across the line. Dynamo Dan is third at the moment. The top 3 in the World Championship is also the top 3 in the qualifying position at the moment. Dynamo Dan's Achilles heel has been his qualifying form, hasn't it? But his race trim has been second, and then, however, unfortunately, Speed Kai has just gone second fastest. He is going to be quite a hindrance, I think, for the top runners here tonight, because he's a quick customer indeed. But Dynamo Dan is only on 2 DNFs this season, and that is what has kept him in the championship. He hasn't been the quickest, but he's certainly been one of the most shrewdest operators in all the paddock here in Bronze then. As I mentioned, the Drivers' Championship cannot be won here tonight. But Jenner can take a huge step forward of maybe clinch it in China next week, of course. And same with Troy as well. Could potentially. Can he? No, I don't think he can actually. There's me being a bit. I don't think he can actually. But I need to get me maths out then. Anyway, hello. I've had my monologue for tonight. I haven't even done the drivers of the constructors yet. Shocking behaviour. I thought I was actually quite early. Jenner faster with Speed Kai in second position. Echo in third at the moment. Dynamo Dan is fourth. Fifth position is Vestia with Brooksy in sixth position. Brooksy's got a new gamer tag. Shocking behaviour. Seventh position is Sick as Mug. Itemised only down in eighth at the moment. Then, of course, the man who won on his debut back in the Belgian Grand Prix. Ninth position is Marsky, and 10th position is Kiki at the moment. Both half drivers have got a very loud guy outside trying to show off his exhaust. Both half drivers are Cirrus Mushroom and TK out qualified. Hungry Stars also out qualified as well. New Potato, who's only just got his new steering wheel. So New Potato then trying to claw back the top 3 in the championship, but I think it's almost certainly done and dusted. I think from New Potato's point of view, because I think Echo's too far in front. Duncan Dave hasn't set a time yet. Nor is Vintage, nor is Scooby Shoe. Swan Shanks is just tackling the circuit now. Echo, Tiago Montero inspired helmet design from myself. Lovely stuff indeed there from Echo. Unfortunately, I've been trying to do some quick maths in the past hour or so to make sure I get all the permutations right, which won't be right, because we all know about my math. It's pretty shambolic, to say the least, isn't it there? Which is shocking behavior. I don't know how I passed maths, really. I think I probably had a very... Maybe they got my paper the wrong way around with someone else, unfortunately, and someone else probably a good pass and now got an F or something. I don't know, but yes, good stuff indeed there. Of course, Tiago Montero, the last Portuguese, and isn't the only Portuguese driver to get a podium in Formula 1, albeit in very interesting circumstances. If anyone has ever had the privilege or the pain of watching the 2005 United States Grand Prix, where there was only 6 races. six cars on the grid. Then of course that's where Montero got his one and only podium from. I think he drove for Jordan, and then he drove for, was they called Midland after Jordan? I think they were, before they became Spiker, then became Force India, which a lot of you guys would probably know more of, really. But yeah, Montero, one of the last drivers to drive for the legendary Jordan team, and one of my all-time favourite teams of all time, really is. And I've got to say, in today's Formula, you ain't going to get a team like Jordan again, are you? Which is quite a shame, really. And that is one thing I'm not really a fan of F1 at the moment, is just of how restricted it is to get a new team into Formula 1. I mean, Andretti Motorsport, oh, here we go, I'm on my soapbox now, so Ginner getting a bit squirrely there over the crest of the hill. Sounded like a co-drive there, fantastic. Good stuff. Rally, it is, we've got to say, the most dangerous sport, I think, in the world, in my opinion, goodness me. Anyway, going back, yes, I think the one thing I do dislike about Formula 1 at the moment is just how difficult it is to get a new team into Formula 1. Andretti Motorsport probably got so much credentials in other motorsport. Like I think they've raced in Formula E. They're doing well in IndyCar as well. I think that they should have probably been brought in with open arms, personally, especially with the Cadillac brand behind them. They've never had the Cadillac Cadillac. Is it General Motors in Formula 1 before? So that's pretty cool to hear. So I'm a big advocate of having more than just 10 teams in Formula 1, because I don't think 10 teams is enough to, anyway. I think you should go back up to 12 at the very least. The last time we had 12 teams on the grid was back in 2012, wasn't it, of course, with the three new teams, which didn't go too well, did it? I must say, yes, that's probably why they might be a bit concerned, because those three teams were very quite the way off the pace, weren't they? I mean, one team didn't even have a big enough fuel tank to get to the end. Of course, that was a Virgin Grand Prix, which was, I think it took them until like round 6 in Spain or round 5 in Spain before they got that fuel tank in the big enough, which is quite shocking stuff, really, isn't it, when you think about it? But I suppose that might be one concern. But I do feel then with the there was a lot of things that went against those new teams, i.e. the budget cap, which is in place now, isn't it? Luke Chapman, shame I ain't racing tonight, but here to support Bronze. Very good stuff indeed, Luke. Then we've had a ball of a time watching you drive these cars in Bronze. It's a shame you're not here tonight, because Luke, a Grand Prix winner in Bronze, and I think he finished 4th as well in his very short career in Bronze. But it's good to see good to see Luke here as well. Then hello there, good evening to you, Chaz, or should I say General Kenobi. Evening, Shawnee Boo. Evening, all. Good evening to you, Serious Mushroom. Kai is too fast for here, Serious Mushroom is saying. He was very quick in silver, I do give you that, but it's Duncan David. You can feel the car just going very light underneath him. But I do think that speed. I think that Smithfield Mighty has done his homework on speed, Kai. Of course, I better add that final word there, otherwise Smith and White get the FBI at this door. But he has done his homework on speed, Kai, and I think that Smith Almighty believes in this. On this day in history, Speed Kai is going to be perfect for the Bronze tonight. Then hopefully going to seal P3 in the drivers tonight. We'll take a look at the drivers in just a jiffy. I am a little behind now because I've been moaning about all kinds of nonsense already, which is nothing unusual. Duncan Dave didn't put used DRS there right at the very end of the lap there, which was a bit off the ball there, wasn't it, off the mark. Dynamo Dan looking very strong here tonight, isn't he? Wants to claim back that championship lead that he lost in Interlagos a week ago, and he is certainly doing that. Then he is looking very formidable. He's 2/10 seconds behind Ginner at the moment, but he is in second and on the front row with his championship rival, and that is the most important part, I think, now to start alongside. So Dynamo Dan had a very tough race in Brazil last week, didn't he? He had all kinds of shenanigans going on with himself and the Ferrari team, but now the constructors out of the way, with Ferrari no longer able to win the constructors, I think that the Ferrari and Dynamo Dan are going to get behind Dynamo Dan and see if they can get that drivers' championship. But Ginner back out again for a third run on those soft tyres there, really attacking this qualifying session at the moment. Swati will ruin that Echo then. Echo then confirming it is the 2005 United States Grand Prix. I remember that Grand Prix quite well because back before there was the old interweb and everything like that, I didn't really know what was going on, to be honest. It was very unusual, and I must admit, I was sat there just assuming we was going to get a Grand Prix in 2005, but I just thought they was just going to put a chicane in, and that was that. But I was absolutely stunned when was it 7 teams, 6 teams that peeled off into the pits, and we only had 3 teams in that race, Minardi, Jordan and Ferrari. Very unique situation indeed, and I must say it ain't the worst Grand Prix I've watched in the of all time, because I must say that it was, in a really odd way, it was very interesting to stay tuned, which I don't even know how. Sick as Muck goes 8th fastest at the moment. Then we are going to have more than the 6 cars driving tonight, I'm sure. But then, as going down turn 1 is Sick as Muck, he's had a very good time now, hasn't he? Jinner's going to start another lap. Then Jinner is, and he's flying out at the moment. What about Speed Kai? Speed Kai, the lovely gold helmet there. Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. There, big. Oh, and he's got a bit of a green on there as well. That reminds me of a certain helmet. Goodness me, I'm going to have to. I can't remember. And Speed Kai does go fast by 0.4 of a second. Well, goodness gracious me, he's pulled that out of his back pocket, hasn't he? In the Mercedes, that was a great time indeed from car 25, which he's stolen off Danny Fiat, hasn't he? It's a shocking behaviour. No, Fiat was 25, 6, wasn't he? 25 was Jean-Eric Verne, wasn't he? I don't know. Personally, I would prefer to go back to their old number system, but that's because of my OCD, and they also looked very nice when it was lined up on the garage there when they went 1, 2, 3, 4 and all that kind of stuff. Back on board with Jenner at the moment then. Jenner's got to find 0.4 of a second to get himself back up into pole position at the moment in the Alpine, and so he might have a he might have a bit of a way to go on this one. I'll go catch up with the comments there. Yeah, Midland, the killer car. Yes, indeed. Midland was a very interesting car. I quite liked the Spiker. The Spiker was quite a nice orange, wasn't it? But it didn't really go nowhere. I can't believe how many ownerships they had. Of course, I can't remember half the owners, to be honest, but I do. Of course, we all remember VJ Mallier, who was finally ended up with that old Jordan team, didn't they? Which is now the Aston Martin team, and looking to be going places as well. Talking of going places, Jinner almost matched Speed Kai there, but not enough at the moment now. But he is second fast at the moment, and Echo's starting his lap as well. He hasn't got much battery left in there, but I reckon that he used a lot of it to really get himself a bit of a slingshot there. Swanshanks has moved up to a very healthy 11th position there, but he is on an outlap mode now. Vintage has invalidated his time now, and he's off the circuit as well. So unfortunately for Vintage there, he's made a mistake, and he's going to be unhappy of himself there. We're just watching, we've got Jinner there just going in front of us. I wonder if Echo might have been a bit distracted on that one there. But as he accelerates now, 2.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session, as it starts to really rank up now, isn't it? There is looking down the. So we've got Kaz, who hello, made it, and good luck, drivers. It's great to see Kaz in this session now. Hats off to him indeed. Then. Of course, and to be honest, I hope that this gives Cars a bit of just forget all the emissions that is going on outside. Well, you can't really, can you? I must say, I can't even imagine what Cars is going through at the moment now, to be living on edge there, or basically living out of a box and having to pack up your things and leave your home because of those wildfires. And so yeah, our thoughts are with you, Kaz. So I really hope that it's as Echo goes full fastest. I really hope that you don't have to pack up and go, and I really hope you stay safe as well. I really hope you stay safe as well, Kaz, and of course that is the most important part, I think, of tonight. So just watching Itemizer, getting a lovely slipstream there from Jinner. That is why those two have worked so well, haven't they, together then. I think that Jinner may repay the favour, Itemizer may have to repay the favour though later on in this one. What about New Potato? He has gone to 5th fast at the moment there, but he's now about to set a final time in with 70 seconds to go in this qualifying session. Here is a Vintage, who hasn't, I love her Vintage helmet, and it's a very standout helmet, isn't it? I love it. And he comes out the final turn as well to start us on the way as well. 15 turns around this course, and Vintage, I think, is going to be going for broke. Then Kaz also starting his lap as well. Good luck, Kaz. Then I don't really, well, I try not to play favourites, but let's be honest about it. Sometimes I do get very excited when drivers who have had difficult seasons, I do love it when they do well towards the end of the season then, of course. So I'll be supporting Scooby Stew, hopefully get a point here tonight. I would have supported Winnie here, but unfortunately unfortunately, he has decided that he unfortunately cannot race tonight, so we got sloppy seconds in instead of the talking of the devil, and he shall disappear. Echo started his lap as well, or just finished his lap there. He's got no battery left there. That is not good, is it? Where's Itemizar? Itemizar has gone into 6th faster with that slipstream there. Good stuff indeed there for Itemizar. He's too far back though to be giving Jinner a slipstream now. What about Vestia coming across the line there? Vestia starting his lap with 3 seconds to go. He's timed that perfectly well. Yellow flag then, and I think that is for Itemizar. What about New Potato then? So New Potato currently on row 3 with the new steering wheel. How's that done? It's got him up to 3rd fast at the moment now. Good stuff then for good stuff. I've lost the other Mercedes, which is not good because the speed car has gone faster still, and done a 17.4, which I think he must have invalidated there. But he's gone faster already. Then here comes Vintage. He's moved so at the 13th on the grid then for the Williams team. Loving that. Kaz has gone 12th fastest. Good stuff indeed. There's an AlphaTauri behind us of Marsky. He is 9th fastest in the AlphaTauri. Then what about the second Mercedes and the sickest Mark? He's on to row 3. Magnificent stuff indeed. Donovan Dunn, the championship protagonist there, is 4th at the moment there, but he's on the 2nd row of the grid, which is good stuff there. Kiki, usually a great qualifier, but today he's off the pace down in 8th position now. Oh my goodness gracious me. Echo that he's invalidated his time. He's also out of battery as well, unfortunately. What about Jinner? Jinner's invalidated as well, so it is going to be pole position for Speed Kite. What about Vestia then? Vestia's 3/10 of second up. That would put him around the Itemizer, maybe into row 3 potentially. It is row 3. He displaces sickest Mark right at the very end there. And good stuff indeed there. AlphaTauri can potentially become the joint constructors champions today with a 25-point swing, but it is Speed Kai. No, that's Jinner. Speed Kai on pole position then for his, I think this is his first ever start in bronze. Great stuff there for himself and the Mercedes team, and a brilliant way to start the Portuguese Grand Prix. Echo, closest we got was Braun. I must admit, that comment came, I've only just read that comment out, and that's about 10 minutes after I was yapping on about new teams. But I think, I must say that Braun was technically, even though there was like a new name above the door, it's basically what Honda weren't really. Of course, Honda are linked to be going to, oh no! And the AI is giving Kaz a 5-place penalty here. And because Kaz is not driving that car, so that is absolute rubbish there. And hopefully Vintage hasn't got damage, hasn't got the 5-place grid penalty either. And there's also, look, Kaz has got another one. That is absolute bonkers. That is, it really is there. So Kaz who qualified 12th on the grid, and all his hard work has gone to naught then, and I think that some drivers will definitely be happy to see the end, the back end of this game then, because that was pretty rubbish. Kaz is going to be at the back of the field after a really strong 12th position there, so he is going to be absolutely furious at that. And I don't blame him whatsoever then, because that is absolutely appalling, isn't it? I mean, yeah, there's no one to blame for that, is there? It's just, there's one person to blame, or a couple of, or a group of people to blame there, but which is Codemaster there, but that is absolute rubbish there, isn't it, for Kaz? Goodness me. Evening to you, Farf. I hope you're feeling better. Of course, Farf had to pit and quit last night as unfortunately had some extreme bowel movements, didn't he? Farf did, which I'm sure he's very happy for me to enlighten everyone with. But I must say, I don't really, I'm not very sympathetic, am I? To be fair, mainly because I think he laughed at me once when I had the same problem. Well, actually, because I think I puked once on the stream as well. But there we go. So that's why I have no sympathy. I think it was the Belgium Silver race. I think it was where I was really ill halfway through it, which was quite funny. Evening, Far. Forgot, Sean. Thank you very much, Serious Russia. I have got the comments on my laptop as well now, so which is all good stuff indeed there, Serious Russia. But I've actually planned ahead for one, so hopefully the arrows won't be needed. Remember that female driver did a Jules Bianchi in the Midland there, Serious Russia was saying. Yeah, I think wasn't that the Marussia? Was it? They were Marussia, weren't they? They went from Virgin to Marussia, didn't they? And I think it was it the Silver? No, not, that's a football player, isn't it? Oh gosh, Marina de something. I can't remember her name. That is shocking. But yeah, I mean, that's absolutely terrible. I think I've got her name on the tip of my tongue, but I can't pronounce it very well. Oh gosh, I've got a message. Let's ignore that for now, I reckon. Is that door? It's not the admin, so I think it's my sister asking what I want for tea tomorrow. Right, let's get on with the race, shall we? That is also important. Well, actually, technically it is important because I do enjoy my tea on Wednesdays. But the only problem is that it's Wednesday, not Friday. Right, 33 laps around Portugal. Let's quickly carry on the comments then before I get through any of that other any really good stuff there. Thank you for all the good thoughts. Then going to be a long summer. I'm rubbish with the seasons then, so it's kind of only just starting the summer, and that's not good at all. I was hoping that Australia are usually in the twilight of their summer now, aren't they? Well, they're in the opposite end of the world, aren't they? Well, that's probably why. Yeah, well, I really hope then that it's not a hot summer at all then. Yeah, wish you well, Kaz, mate, then Brooksy in my ear saying he is winning this. Oh, goodness me. Percy, of course, Percy, a multiple Grand Prix winner in gold. Brooksy, who is a multiple Grand Prix winner in cobalt, but he's never hit the heights, has he, of bronze, of that incredible feat in bronze just yet, as Brooksy. But hopefully he could get some good luck after. It's been a bit of a difficult one there, but Percy, a very good man to have in your ear. And I think Brooksy, vice versa as well, because I think the Brooksy's using the ear of Percy on Sunday night racing. 4 p.m. then. Yes, indeed. I'm not going to say anything more because I think I've ripped far enough. I'm not really. I think you're shocking behaviour indeed. I need to get some decorum in this commentary box as well because I haven't even gone through the standings. I haven't even talked about the grid. It is shameful stuff indeed. You can tell it's an end of a very long season, isn't it? There, before the admins packaged me up and put me back into my hibernation cubicle until F123, which I don't think I'm going to be in that cubicle for very long, to be honest. I think it's only a couple of weeks before the new season starts. Anyway, Speed Kai on pole position, and alongside him is Jinner. Jinner cannot win the championship today, of course, but he can extend his advantage there. Third position is New Potato, looking strong. Great to see New Potato back. Dynamo down in full position. Can he stop Jinner's offensive for the championship? In fifth is Echo. Vester in sixth. Last gas there for Vester. Good stuff. Sick as Muck, once again, he's such a good qualifier, Sick as Muck. It's Itemizer, shown for pace around here in eighth position. Ninth is Kiki, and Kiki's out of position there, but don't worry about that. Marsky in 10th position. I love this long shot. He's the only driver on soft tyre. That's interesting. Brooksy in 11th position now. We heard from his engineer that he's confident of a result today. 12th is Swanshanks with Vintage in 13th. Duncan Dave in 14th. McLaren is facing the wrong way. He's done a Physicala. 15th and 16th is the both for Haas drivers there. Styles in 17th. Sloppy second in 18th. 19th is Scooby Stew. Kaz in 20th position with his 10th place penalty for goodness knows what. So let's go. Itemize La Taga said summer starts 21st of June, so season, oh gosh, so it usually starts on the 22nd of July. Well, I hope that Kaz is alright, and I hope it's a cold winter. Alright, lights out, and here we go then for the start of the Portuguese Grand Prix, and here we go then, and the McLaren's off already, and you've seen the issues at the on the formation lap. Echo up the inside. Echo is taken third position. New Potato and Jinner is in the between the Echo and the New Potato there. New Potato's got off there. He's off it onto the gravel. Goodness me. An aggressive start here there for New Potato. And for Jinner as well. Jinner's had a horrific run there on turn 4. And we go down into 5 then. And Donovan down there is just matching his championship rival. But he's had an awful run as well. And look at this. And the drivers are struggling out there at the moment. Donovan down, who is down into 7th position. He's dropped down 3 positions there. Jinner and New Potato are fighting here. We're very hard on the opening lap here, and now look at this as Jinner's through, but look how close they are. Goodness gracious me. Vester's also in the action as well. Yellow flag in 2. It's one of the Aston Martins. It's Duncan Dave up the circuit. Vester's had a look, but Vester's had a spin and dropped down the order. He's come back on the circuit with Marsky sneaking up in beside him as well. Oh my word, then that's a Red Bull up the inside. That's Brooksy having a sniff there, and Brooksy is up into 8th position as well. It's had a good start there, and an electric start here in the Argive here in Argive in Portugal. That yellow flag is TK is off the circuit as well. That one has been completed. The gap is 3/10 a second. Echo is flying out there at the moment. That's a Red Bull off. That's Brooksy off, and he's not damaged the car, I don't think, but that was a very violent spin there. And we got a massive gap then between Styles and the rest of the field. And then we got to battle the front, and Echo's on the inside, using the medium tyres out, and he's going through. It's an aggressive start for Echo, and he takes the lead in the Portuguese Grand Prix, and using those medium tyres to his advantage here. Fantastic start for Echo, and my goodness gracious me, and what an incredible start there from Echo, from fifth on the grid or something like that. Then and Kaz's got a 3-second penalty, passes Speed Kai, and I think Speed Kai's going to be a bit disgruntled about that, isn't he? There is he wanted to probably get out in front there. Dynamo Dan somehow back up in the 5th position. Last time we said Dynamo Dan, he was I thought he was about 7th or 8th in the queue. So Dynamo Dan only 2 points behind his championship rival at the moment here in this one. Knowlesy, what a start, and goodness me, Brooksy doing the same thing. His engineer goat. So it's fantastic stuff indeed then. Marsky in 6th position, he's got past Itemizer. Remember, Marsky on the soft tyres in this one, and we come through to the complete lap 2 here. And Echo there has got no DRS just yet. And the guys behind him got no DRS yet. Generous at the fast on race, followed by Dynamo Dan here, and we go down into turn 1 now. Then Echo leads by half a second there from Speed Car in 2nd position. There is the race control. They've enabled DRS now then for this race, and of course DRS will be enabled unless we get a safety car, or unless we get wet weather conditions are. Don't think about we're going to get many much wet weather today here in the archive, but Alviva got me speedos out then as we're down into turn 5. Echo, Kai, Nude, Jinner, Dynamo Dan, Marsky, Itemizer, Vessier. Goodness gracious me, there's like father leader. It's so close, isn't it? Everyone up until, well, I was going to say everyone up until about 12th position there, but actually Dynamo Dan is dropping back from Jinner at the moment. There is Dynamo Dan there. Remember though, he's such a quality racer, isn't he? Dynamo Dan do not count it. Dynamo Dan fans will never count him out then, will they? Because they know he just keeps coming at you, doesn't he? Just as Itemizer just underlining that he is struggling in the Alpine today, isn't he? I love these beautiful scenery here in Portugal, isn't it? Fantastic. Look at this, and wow, look at how undulating this circle is there. I think it's a modern day classic, the here in Portugal. Not many drivers are a fan of this, but I think it's possibly maybe not in the top 5 of the circuits on the game then, but it's certainly probably top 7, 8 maybe. Speed Car is having a look there, going down into turn 1 there, but Echo, remember, Echo is the Ministry of Defence then, isn't he, in terms of ALR? Incredible, isn't he? He's been so good this season, has Echo. This has been an absolute onslaught. It's been his best season in ALR to date, and he has been absolutely on fire. And of course, and remember that the awards is open for this week as well. And who are you going to vote for bronze and for driver of the season? Then I'll bring up the awards when I know how to use my phone. But of course, Sarah, they are in the Discord now. Of course, all the drivers will be voting for their peers. And Kiki, who unfortunately have initiative as well, and like Itemizer, Kiki struggling for pace at this moment in time here. Then New Potato currently in 3rd position there, and is kind of holding them up at the moment. Remember, New Potato, great stuff to see him back racing. We didn't expect to see him. Great. It'd be great. Sorry, I was reading the comment and I should have not read the comment yet because I've got tripped over myself. Duncan Dave, I'm to a 16th position now, 15th, I should say. Yes, what was I saying? I can't remember. Yeah, New Potato, who's got a new steering wheel now, hasn't he? So he's kind of got to adapt then. But goodness me, he's already up in the 3rd position in this one. So at the moment, Jinner is extended in the World Championship. I'll get the championship up in just a jiffy. Let's just quickly let me talk about that. It's 21 points between Dynamo Dan and Jinner, then the gap will be up to 23 if they finish as they remain now. Then of course, as I said, then the championship cannot be won here today. TK is off the circuit. Now that's not TK, that's TK. Did a similar thing to what Brooksy did there. Sloppy seconds in the Ferrari, is having an almighty scrap here. Oh no, and sloppy seconds there, and it's got a bit sloppy at the top of the hill there for sloppy seconds there, but he gets back going. But he's down a couple of positions. He has done well, I should get up a few then. As Speed Car is dropped off the back of Echo here, then Echo needs to use those pace on that. Who's Nude is off the circuit now? He's just about back on. I've lost me controller. There it is. Oh my gosh, there. Oh, you were I threw the controller halfway across the room there. New Potato only lost 1 position somehow in all that all that fracas. Well, that fracas is just him spin at the rear tyres, wasn't it? But he is still in full position there. Dynamo down in fifth. Medium tyres there for both Aston Martins there. For Ferrari of Dynamo down. For the Red Bull of New Potato. And for Echo as well there. Nosey saying it will be a great circuit next game. As I've said in every stream at Laugh Out Loud. Or lol, then, if you depend on if you're a boomer or not like me. Right, down into turn one. Then it will be a great circuit on the next game, I do believe. I don't think it's on the calendar for next year, then, but I'm not sure if I've already mentioned the calendar a few times, then. But of course, we need to get this season out of the way first, don't we? Goodness gracious me. New potato, Cirrus Mushroom. I'll get there eventually. Up until end position now, Cirrus Mushroom is there. Currently in fourth in the championship, 49 points behind Echo. I feel that Echo could. He only needs to score Cirrus Mushroom by 3 points to get for that third position now. But Cirrus Mushroom would be very happy with 4th, I think, overall. I think he's done a good job at Cirrus Mushroom out there. Is it his strongest season of his ALR career? I don't think so. I think his strongest season of his ALR career is Season 2 of Silver. Of course, where he won that epic Japanese Grand Prix, didn't he? And he stopped the run of the dominating Haas team back then. Ironically, he's driving for them now, isn't he? But Cirrus Mushroom stopped the domination of Liam and German, who was going for 8 Grand Prix wins in a row between those two superpowers of ALR Silver in yesteryear. Speed Kai currently 4/10 of a second back. Brabber, evening. Good evening. Hello to you, Brabber. Then I love that pink hand as well. Fantastic. Oh, I got to look at the front first before I read anything else. Where is? Oh, there's Echo. I thought he disappeared there. I was a bit worried, but Echo's still leading this race. He's a Grand Prix winner this season. Echo is won Singapore, but I think his best race of his career is that incredible race in Mexico where he defended against Jenner for so many laps there, and he could have been a mighty forward in the side of Jenner then if he didn't have that spin in the essence there. Talking to Jenner, there he is over the crest of the hill there, 2 seconds away from this squabbling duo at the moment there. This is the battle at the front then. Of course, as Brooks has got a 3-second penalty as they fly over the crest of the hill then from Speed Kai. And I selfishly would like to see Speed Kai in silver next season because I think he is going to be a major player if he does become a full-time driver next season. But that is, but of course, that is just my wish. That of course, it comes down to the race control and the stewards of ALR and whether he's available as well. Of course, do you think Mushroom can finish in the top 10? Oh my goodness me, New Potato might not be able to. His ears off the circuit. And New Potato is in 10th position. Oh, it's Cirrus Mushroom there going right through New Potato. They're going to be all Cirrus Potato used to merge themselves with. And who is that? Sloppy Seconds there. Who, sorry, it wasn't Sloppy Seconds. It was Duncan Dave all over the gearbox of Swanshanks. Great to see Swanshanks back as well. He wasn't meant to race for the remainder of the season there. But good news for us, but unfortunately for Swanshanks, he's hurt himself. As a yellow flag has won the Aston Martin to Duncan Dave off the circuit. Duncan Dave, it's been such a difficult season with Duncan Dave, hasn't it? Looking at the beginning of the season, I did have Duncan Dave tipped to be top 5 at least. I thought Duncan Dave was going to be a championship challenger, you know. Unfortunately, that's not gone at all well for the Aston Martin driver down in 19th position at the moment. Going back to Brabbett's query, or question, I should say. Yeah, Cirrus Mushroom going to finish in the top 10. Well, currently he's 10th at the moment now. Mushroom is a better racer than qualifier, mainly because he doesn't qualify. I think he has the Dan Murphy problem of losing his keys in qualifying, don't they? And unfortunately, his team refused to start up the motor these days, don't they? Albeit, I think you start up the motors yourself in these Formula 1 hybrid cars these days. Duncan Dave's got a 3-second penalty. Back at the front! No, I need to be here because it's Itemizer and Sick as Muck. Oh my goodness me! And he's gone on the outside. That's a great maneuver, but Itemizer's back on the inside and it's Sick as Muck hanging it out. Great driving from both of them. And that is why they race now. Like cream of the crop. Fantastic there from both drivers there. If that was me, I would have been into the side, broken Sick as Muck's side pod, and he would have been out. I would have been disqualified. But great driving from both of those. Fantastic. Coming across the line now. Now we got a bit of DRS there. Echo is under the caution again, but this is getting a bit feisty down into turn 1. Itemizer on the outside. Sick as Muck on the inside. He is, oh no, and he is spun there. And the slightest bit of contact there. When the car is fully loaded like that, your car is going to go around like a Beyblade. And unfortunately, Sigismund has dropped down the order. Scooby Stew up into a superb 11th position. Great to see. I think Scooby Stew's had a bit of a renaissance as of late. There's a yellow flag there as well in the Haas cars. So TK is off the circuit having a miserable race at the moment. TK is back at the front. The gap is 7/10 of a second. But look at Jinner. He is now coming at you. Coming at him very hard now. As Itemizer on Sigismund don't realise the awards have already been nominated. Yes, otherwise that would have probably been in overtaking the season, wouldn't it? Really, but it's because that's an absolute quality overtake there from Sigismund and Itemizer. Unfortunately, they come to blow at turn 1. It is such a fast corner. Turn 1 is a very difficult overtaking opportunity, isn't it? I'm not really sure if it's an overtaking opportunity. Scooby Stew has dropped down into 12th position, then, but Scooby Stew in the last race or two, he's had some pace, hasn't he? Scooby Stew has. And New Potato down the order again now, and it's a nightmare race from New Potato, who was very high up the order. And look at us in it now once again. They were battling for the lead here, and Echo now, who is, I think, the medium tires are going off, and here comes Speed Car, and he's all over the back of Echo. Echo now is going to have to really get defensive now, and then look at this, and Echo's going to run him out of road. He does run him out of road, and the Mercedes driver couldn't get the traction off the race, off the circuit there, and it's still in second position. We've got some pit stop drama. Marsky's gone on softs again, then an aggressive strategy there from Marsky by the looks of things. Jinner ready to pounce it, but Jinner has got to focus on the championship then. Well, if he can, of course. It's very difficult to focus on the championship, isn't it, where when of course there's a race win right in front of you. Yellow flag, and Vintage, who is into a superb 7th position, dropping down there. He has spun off the circuit, and remember what happened now to Gurman in on Sunday's race there. Of course, the medium to hards did not go well at all, did they? And we have got Dynamo Dan and Echo on that strategy, along with Vintage as well. And Echo defended. Sorry, Kaz and Duncan Dave were also on that strategy as well. And look at this, and Echo once again trying to break the slipstream. Then Jinner's having a sniffer, no dice there. In the background, 4 seconds back is Dynamo Dan. The gap between Dynamo Dan and Jinner is now by 3 points. He's got up the inside, and that's an incredible manoeuvre there from Jinner there. I'm wondering if he just got caught out by the speed he had potential. Was there an overtaken opportunity, or was it Jinner sending it? Or was that just a misjudgment there? I think it was Jinner sending it there, doing a Daniel Ricciardo-esque manoeuvre. Of course, Daniel Ricciardo used to drive for the Stone team, albeit it was more yellow than black, yellow and black rather than blue and pink back then. Jinner almost catching Speed Car by surprise. Scooby Stew, who's now dropped behind Sigismund in the battle for 11th, 10th and 11th position now. But this battle at the front is very much enthralling me at the moment now. And I got to sit down because I got cramp. Oh, TK off the circuit. Oh my goodness me! I'm back up. TK is no, he's off the circuit, and he's having a nightmare race out there. TK is at the moment. Equal said, I hope we get Equal's name right eventually. Equal said, Serious Mushroom is on it. He's in 7th position mode now. He's on the right. I think he's on a very good strategy as well. What about these guys in the front? Then 1/3 race distance. So I can get that right there. Here comes Speed Car. Where's there they are. Cameron cannot keep up that. He's on the outside. Oh my word. And he's contact. The minute of contact between the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes car into turn 3. I think this is oh my word there. Look at these stars. And Echo has been a star of the season. That's it. Jinner is of course fighting for the World Championship. And now comes Speed Car. He is free, takes the lead, got the inside. Echo is defended absolutely brilliantly. But I think that he may not. Oh, he's coming back, Alan. Oh my word, he's on the outside, and he's going to try and fight them. And Speed Car's not going to allow him there. And Speed Car, Jinner's off the circuit, and Speed Car at the wobbly, and Echo's back in the lead there. Magnificent stuff indeed. I need to calm down because I'm losing my voice already. That 12 out of 33 here. Echo back into the lead of the Grand Prix. Jinner, where is he coming then? He is back out behind his championship rival, Dynamo Dan. And Dynamo Dan is now in front at the moment. Is now in front of his championship rival. The gap is now yo-yoing around. It's back down to 18 points-ish or thereabouts. Oh my word. And Jenner then, I wonder if he got spooked by Speed Kai's wobbly, and that put him on the back foot. When is Echo going to come in the pit say with his Tiago Montero inspired crash helmet? And here they come once again. Then I got to say that camera on the front back straight there is a great cinematic camera, but it's not very good when you want to see the action. And Echo's gone very deep there, and look at that, Speed Kai measured that absolutely splendidly well, and he's back up the inside. Echo is there, and my goodness me, and he is not giving an inch in this one, is he? Oh, fantastic stuff indeed. Then Echo is driving on the edge of his seat here. He's going for it. He's having a look there. Speed Kai cannot get this move done, can he? Because Echo there has the traction as well. He's back through. Oh my gosh, there. Oh my word there. And Speed Kai, he knew he had to brake there. Oh, magnificent stuff indeed there. Scooby Shoo has a 3-second penalty. I've knocked the telemetry off. Shocking behaviour. What an incredible battle this is between two drivers that were only here to win the Grand Prix. And then just behind him as well is Dynamo Dan and Jenner fighting for the World Championship as well. But my goodness me, this is for all the marbles here tonight, isn't it? Oh, I love it. Magnificent stuff indeed. You say it, divinely epic action there. This is a great battle for first, and Smithfield Mighty is saying it. It absolutely is, isn't it? Magnificent stuff indeed. And once again, Echo, I think is the most is one that has got such a defensive prowess, hasn't he? He has done such a great job once again, like he did in Mexico. He certainly knows where to position the car. He certainly knows when to come back at the driver. And what an incredible opening couple of laps. It's been opening couple of laps. We're about halfway through this race. Now Speed Car needs to put his toe down here and really stretch his lead in this Grand Prix. He is a very quick customer, isn't he? Dynamo Dan second, and he's a second and a half away from his championship rival, or in front of his championship rival, Jinner, after spinning earlier on in this one. So Jinner's got to get past his championship rival. There's Vessier. Now, recently in last couple of races, Vessier has really become, I've hit my mic, Vessier has really become a major factor in these battles at the front here. And where's Serious Mushroom all over the back here of Sloppy Seconds there. Sloppy Seconds there, who's done a little bit of harvesting there. Then we got Sick as Muck, Scooby Stew, and Vintage. Where's Echo? Echo's 12th position there, a couple of seconds behind his teammate then, but that is perfect for Echo. However, what isn't perfect there, he's got Brooks, he rides on his tail here. He wants to just get the foot down. He doesn't want to be involved in defending here. Off the circuit in front of us is Vintage again now. I'm not sure if Vintage had a helping hand or not. Brooksy is through on the 12th position there. Vintage is in 13th. Kaz is up in the 14th there after the setback he had in qualifying. For magnificent recovery there. Speed Car set the fast out of the race, and that is not what Echo wants to see there. So Echo needs to fire up these tyres quickly, and that has been the problem, I think, these hard tyres, especially in the latter stage of this championship. They are very difficult to fire up, and I think that is why we're starting to see a lot of drivers lean towards the hard tyres first, then the medium tyres for the final stint then. Here is Echo, and Echo's gone for the alternative strategy here, hasn't he? This didn't go well. Jinner's got a 3-second penalty. That is going to be costly. This strategy didn't go well for didn't go well for Gurman in the on Sunday night, but this is a different day. It looks a lot hotter out there than it did on Sunday, of course, as the sun is beaming down from the clouds here in the archive. And Echo then really needs that heat in those hard tyres. He needs a lap or two to get them up together then. Speed Kai is flying at the moment. What is it? Who isn't flying now is Dave and Kiki, who I think that looks very, very suspicious, like they've had a coming together into turn one there. Oh dear. Anyway, where was I? I think I was here, wasn't I? So what can Echo do then? There is Echo then. Just in front of us is Swanshanks. Now, Swanshanks is injured. As I mentioned earlier on then, of course, he can't play rugby anymore, but he can race on, which is good news for us. Bad news for his rugby team. Car's got a 3-second penalty. But into the pits comes Dynamo Dan here, about half distance then. And now he's got to go through the same phase that what Echo is going through right now. Then this is might be a bit painful for Echo, but he's now starting. I think he's now got it through the tough stage here, because look, he has now extended his lead over Brooksy, and Dynamo Dan is on the hard tyres in the Ferrari. This is, remember, Dynamo Dan is fighting generally for the championship. Here, the gap is 21 points at this stage of proceedings in the World Championship as he comes out of the pits. Now look at that dip then. Oh, as he goes out right behind Kaz. I thought I was a little closer than what it was actually. That was Oh, I need to calm myself down. Thank you very much, sir, for joining me tonight. Then on this spectacular, on this incredible Tuesday night here of bronze action. Brilliant bronze it has been so far. Back on board with Echo at the moment now. Echo, it's not lining up the timesheets just yet, is he? So I think he's still trying to get his hard tires up to temperature. We're keeping an eye on Dynamo Dan as well. We're keeping an eye on Dynamo Dan and Echo. The reason why, then, if you just joined us, Echo has had an almighty scrap for the lead in the bronze Portuguese Grand Prix between himself and Super Reserve Speedy Kai, who is currently leading this one at the moment there. Jinner, who had a spin earlier on then, but is now trying to get himself back underway. He has got a 3-second penalty, and he is fighting with Dynamo Dan, who was in front of Jinner. He's just made a stop. He's on the same strategy now as what Echo is said. So both on the medium tires. They have gone to the hards now. The hards have really struggling to get up to temperature now. So let's see how this one transpires. Hungry Star's having a nightmare race so far. Swan Shanks, who is really putting Scuba Stew under the car. Scuba Stew's been magnificent. I keep saying this, but in the last couple of races, he has been absolutely on fire in that McLaren, and he is. And hopefully he can get some points on the board. He has deserved, actually, to be in the points in the last race, especially. He was very unlucky. I can't remember what the last race was. It was Brazil, wasn't it? I think Mexico as well. He was quick as well. So Scooby Stew has really found his feet in the latter stage of this season. On board with Swan Shanks. Echo, there he is in the background now. Of course, the Portuguese-inspired crash helmet there. Echo was out with the beautiful Tiago Monteiro helmet. Of course, the other legendary Portuguese driver you could always emulate as, of course, Pedro Lamy, then. That's if you're very old like me, of course. I don't know what, I had a soft spot for Pedro Lamy, probably because Lamy is quite a nice surname, isn't it, I suppose. And also had a pink helmet as well, it was kind of pink on the old chin strap area. Swan Shanks all over the back of Scooby Stew now. Scooby Stew does have penalties. There's a lot of penalties up and down the order here at this stage of proceedings there. Just on board now then, and just as we're just watching Swan Shanks there, I've just seen a comment from Al Tag there, which means I'm gonna have to lean forward then, because that looks like quite a meaty comment. Give me a second, my good sir, as hopefully there might be a bit of a break in proceedings here. I'm too scared to take an eye off the action, because I reckon I'm gonna miss something. I normally do, innit? Into the pits comes Kaz, and he has gone for the alternative strategy as well. Swan Shanks, did you have a sniff up the inside of Scooby Stew there? I think he did, didn't he? And I'm wondering if Swan Shanks there is going to ease on the throttle here. He does indeed. He lets his teammate through. His teammate is fighting for the win here tonight. And of course, his teammate cannot be stuck behind these cars too long. Otherwise, this could effectively end his challenge for the Grand Prix win here. Duncan Day's got a 3-second penalty. Where's Dynamo Dan? He's currently 4 seconds behind this this trio of cars here. So Dynamo Dan does need to start to put his toe down. Ten Hag, sorry. I was reading in the sports thing before I came on here. Is there a way you can invest in a replay feature so you can go backwards and back and replay and invest then? Aussie F1 racers do it. There's a £40 video card used on a stream device then. Yeah, I think you can do that, to be honest. I must admit, we haven't. I think that we would probably. I'm not sure how we can do it then, but I think we probably need a couple of guys in the booth then. Into the pits comes Jinner then. Well, that's a very good idea, Ten Hag. Ten Hag, sorry, Al Tag, goodness me. Just think I was talking to Ten Hag, but even better, I'm talking to Al Tag. Out of the pits comes Jinner, and this might not be close at all. Where's the Al? There he is, and look, Echo is through. But at that stage, he is not going to be. As yellow flag for one of the sloppy seconds at the same corner again. We might have to call it sloppy corner or sloppy slope maybe, but sloppy second off the circuit again there. Echo is not in front of Speed Kai at the moment then, so he's going to be behind Speed Kai. And look at this, and it's Jinner trying to defend now as Swan Shanks is trying to get past now. And my goodness me, he's got to go up and down. There's Dynamo Dan, he's lost out to Jinner. So yes, once again the tyres are not warmed up, not far enough, quick enough here tonight, and because of that, Dynamo Dan and Echo may have lost their positions there. So going on the alternative strategy has worked here, just like it did on Sunday. Last night, I can't remember much of the action because I was more concerned about one reason was because I was taking the make out of Welsh Man another, but the other reason was Oh, the other reason was as well, I was trying to get my mask sorted so that to make sure that the AlphaTauri did win the silver constructors last night. Unfortunately, Equels had a bit of an issue last night, didn't he? And lost a couple of positions towards the end of the race there, which really kept me on my toes. Medium tires goes on to Vestiaire before he comes out of the pits as well. However, it looked his total points looks very nice now, as I think he's rounded up to a very nice number. I can't remember what the number is, but I'll share it later on if I remember. Dynamo Dan is in front of Vestiaire, so Vestiaire there is going to be a major thorn in Dynamo Dan's side now. Dynamo Dan was quick on the hard tires at the best of times anyway, wasn't he? So now I think that this is going to be a problem. McLaren off the circuit, and who is that? That's Kiki. Kiki having issues then, and he has spun off an 18 laps on the medium tyres then for Kiki, as TK off the circuit as well here, both at the same corner. The gap is 28 seconds there. Goodness me. Speed car has just absolutely flown off into the distance, hasn't he? Goodness gracious me. And look, this is just showing how more effective the medium tyres are. I think that Echo is going to struggle to defend here. I say struggle to defend. He's been a great he's done such a good job of defending over the course of the last couple of races or so. And once again here tonight, really making us work here in the commentary box, and you guys are at home. But as Speed Kai is already coming out of the pits, and they haven't even come out of the final turn yet. Speed Kai looks like he's got a very good pace here, but Jinner has set the fast of the race, and he's gone triple purple, and now that he is flying through, and the medium tyres there, Echo has got no defence there. As it stands though, he is going to be confirmed third in the driver's standings, and with just 2 races to go out tonight, we go to the Far East then for the Chinese Grand Prix for round 23, and then we finish off under the lights in Abu Dhabi in just over 2 weeks' time, of course. So as we come to the very end of the Grand Prix season, and of course there are still some battles left then to really get our teeth sunk into. Well, look at that, the gap is down to 2 seconds, and I didn't think it'll be that close. New Potato then down in 12th position then. New Potato then is Scuba Shoes out another penalty, unfortunately, and that's going to cost them, I think, now. On lap 21 out of 33 here tonight, then you see the soft shod Kaz there, who is really pushing on this there. And look at this, this Kaz there. I wonder if he's just getting, is he struggling there with the Aston Martin overheating then? Because goodness gracious me, that car was struggling, wasn't it? As he was well out of the slipstream, and that's not really the best way to go down the straight and drop breaking the slipstream there. The slipstream is not as powerful on these ground effect cars there, but you still want to be behind the car. So I think the Kaz has got some overheating issues there in the Aston Martin. Jinner is flying at the moment. He's done another fast up race there at the moment, and he is extending his lead in the World Championship. And the gap between Jinner and Dynamo Dan in this race make that Dynamo Dan is lost out to Vestiaire, and the gap is now 19 points then in this race alone, which will take the championship lead up to 40 points then. Sloppy seconds to set the fast race in the second Ferrari. That gap will be up to 40 points then with just 2 rounds to go. And Dynamo Dan, who's led the championship for majority of the season here, and I got to admit, Dynamo Dan, I do feel for Dynamo Dan because he has been magnificent all season. Him, Echo, and Jinner, you can't really separate all those drivers, can you? Because they've all got different brilliant characteristics, haven't you? And they have made an absolute classic in the Bronze Championship this season, and one of my all-time favourite seasons that I have certainly commentated on. However, for Dynamo Dan, there is penalties in front of him. There's a penalty for Vestiaire, there's a penalty for Jinner as well. 2/3 race distance here in the archive. No retirement so far. Well done to everyone out there, and there is drivers that are having a nightmare race out there, but hats off to you guys there for keeping at it. Really impressive stuff indeed. It's very difficult to keep going when it's just going against you. But Speed Car is now at the fast side of the race end, but yeah, at the moment Jinner is extending his lead quite handsomely. The gap will be about 39 points then going into China China next week there for Dynamo Dan to really. So Dynamo Dan is very much up against it now, isn't he? There, he's going. Oh, Vesser's got another penalty though, and that could be a reprieve here. We got 10 laps to go. Remember that the other Ferrari of German back in gold though sunk like a stone on Sunday night. So we don't want Dynamo Dan's fans doesn't want that to happen to the second Ferrari here tonight. So we'll keep an eye on Dynamo Dan's progress then. But at the moment then, Vessier has given Dynamo Dan a bit of lights then in this one. Speed Car leads now by 4.2 seconds from Jenner in second position. Third position is Eka. Great drive once again for Eka, but he's going to have to find his way. He's going to have to defend and then keep Vessier beyond. But Vessier does have three penalties, 6-second penalties there, doesn't he? I was trying to sound clever there. I should have just left it like it was, really. Dynamo Dan in 5th position. Itemizar has made his way into 6th position, unbeknownst to me then. Whilst all the chaos has been going on, Itemizar has recovered quite nicely indeed. Serious Mushroom into a superb 7th position with Sickest Mug and Sloppy seconds, 8th and 9th there. Brooksy has made it into the top 10, but at the moment for Brooksy, I think that he was hoping for a win tonight then, but unfortunately for Brooksy, I'm not sure if unless he does a late safety car, Brooksy might need a miracle there. However, he's in the top 10 at the moment, and that is brilliant to see for Brooksy. Then position is Swanshanks, a very good drive from Swanshanks, because I'm sure that I can't remember what he's hurt then, but I bet it's not going to be comfortable to drive an F1 car whilst you're injured. 12th position, New Potato, a nightmare race for New Potato. Unfortunately, he's got his new wheel, but I think he's still trying to get himself into the swing of things. Kaz in 13th position there, of course. Kaz driving very much under a cloud tonight, isn't there? Of course, real world issues going on in Canada with the bushfires. Hats off to Kaz there for driving it tonight. I hope that's given him a little break or a little reprieve in the worrying circumstances around him and his family and his home then. So great to see Kaz driving here tonight. Scooby Stew in 14th position. He's had the pace again, Scooby Stew has, but once again penalties may elude him from getting some points there. He will be quick towards the end of this race on the medium tyres though. Marsky in 15th position now. In the second AlphaTauri. At the moment, AlphaTauri will not win the joint constructors there. It is going to go on to tomorrow night then, which is where it could be won in the 100% event then tomorrow. I can't remember where they are tomorrow night. Vintage in 16th position. He was quicker earlier on this race, but a couple of spins has really knocked him down the order then. Kaz, TK in 17th position. Nightmare race for TK and Kiki. Duncan, Dave and Styles. Unfortunately, nightmare races for all those drivers right the way down at the back of the field, and this battle here is going to get very fruitful indeed then the final stage then. Sickers Mug does have penalties, Sloppy seconds doesn't there, so Serious Mushroom might be able to keep Sickers Mug at bay in terms of the penalties then, which will bring him up in just a jiffy then as we go into turn 1, and Sloppy seconds there at the inside, and I'm wondering then if Sloppy seconds there either took Serious Mushroom unaware, oh my goodness me, or Serious Mushroom there got distracted then with that red Ferrari in his wing mirrors. But unfortunately, Serious Mushroom has lost an abundance amount of time now behind these battling duo here. But hopefully that'll be good news for Serious Mushroom, because whilst they battle and fight it out, Serious Mushroom they'll be losing time. Serious Mushroom can just pick up the pieces and if it gets really fraught here. And then come over the crest of the hill once again then on lap 25 of this race. And goodness me, this race has absolutely flown by, hasn't it? What an incredible start it was to the Grand Prix in the first half of the race. Was very much action-packed. Now we're into the suspense second part of this race. On the edge of your seat said who is going to be able to make the tyres good again. They should get to the end, no problem. But who is going to be able to keep the penalties down then? Who's going to be able to keep it on track then in this twilight of this very brutal Grand Prix here in Portugal? Yellow flag then is when the Williams is gone off the circuit. I think it is Styles. It is Styles there having a nightmare race down in 20th position there. And we got a VSC out there at the moment then. And of course we got some pit stoppers. It's as they've all come to the pits and it's just a VSC. It's not a full safety car. We had a late safety car last night, didn't we? As Shahid there had issues there. He kept spinning the top of that hill, the sloppy slope, didn't he? Unfortunately for Shahid into the pits. These drivers come now. Soft tyres and for all of them. Serious Mushroom has gone onto the medium then. It's not a full safety car there. It is just a It's just a VSC, but you do lose less time, and these drivers are going to be quite quick here at this stage. Vintage coming out just in front as well. So this VSC is still out of the moment. So about Sick as Muck, Sloppy Seconds, and Serious Mushroom now had technically a free pit stop link. They only lost about 12-ish seconds rather than a full shebang. And now we're back racing then, because I think you would have gained about 10 seconds out with a pit stop there as we go down into turn 5. You can see the beautiful media centre here in Argyle. Lovely stuff indeed. And now before they go back up the hill. So how is that VSC going to play out here? Oh, it is that. Sloppy Seconds gone right to the back of Sick as Muck there, and I hope he hadn't damaged the car in that Ferrari then, because that was and look at this, and Marsky is through. He's got no penalty for that, and he might be able to, he has snuck through there. Oh, contact there as Scooby Stew and Marsky, and Scooby Stew there just I think he really misjudged the over the brow of the hill. And Marsky made a good overtaking maneuver there, but unfortunately, very similar to what we see in the race in gold there, when someone tapped Percy from behind and he spun around then. Unfortunately, that's a problem with undulating circuit here. Echo is down into, oh goodness me, I would say he's down into fourth position then, but he's coming back at him now. Vessier, that's going to be contact there, and Vessier now just about keeps it on the straight now. Sloppy Seconds has passed Sick as Muck up into 9th position there. Good driving there from Sloppy Seconds there. I hope he hasn't got damage there. Serious Mushroom there just for a button. He's going to medium tires, Serious Mushroom man. So not fancying those, not fancying the soft tires. And the soft tires have got to do a couple more laps here, and quite a number of laps here. Now, whether they get to the end or not remains to be seen then. But Sloppy Seconds there has got the legs over the Mercedes driver at the moment now. Ooh, that Haas car is over-rotating there. Serious Mushroom there, struggling on those new medium tires. So he needs to keep those. Needs to keep the heat under control, the thermal wear under control here. Otherwise, he'll be spinning, won't he? Especially around these corners. Serious Mushroom struggling here, isn't he? There, so I'm wondering if he's going on a downhill slope with the tires overheating here. And who is that off the circuit? It's one of the Williamsons. I think his Stars are just getting out of the way. Good 17 there for Stars there, and it just doesn't want to upset the battle there. And he's also got away with about a 10-second penalty as well. Lovely stuff there from Stars. Very good. Echo then, who's now going to the inside then, so Vesser's going to go on the outside here. Star's got a 3-second penalty. Look at this, Vesser's going to go up and under. He has got up and under. And look at this, Echo and Vesser. Vesser needs to get through quite quickly here, because if he doesn't, Sloppy says he's got the fast off race. If he doesn't, he's going to have to catch and pull away from Echo. Echo, I think the hard runners are really struggling then. Itemizer is 10 seconds back from Dynamo Dan. So Dynamo Dan, I think, is fairly happy at the moment. And he's going up the inside. He's having a look there, and just about then, once again, Echo just comes back for more. Does the magnificent driving from Echo, once again defending for all the marbles here. Wow, absolutely brilliant stuff indeed. As the Driver of the Day nominations are out then. Oops, no, they're not. I got to put them in the YouTube then. 1 second. But the Driver of the Day nominations will be coming up on the screen in just a jiffy. Yellow flag in sector 1 as TK is off the circuit. While off the circuit, TK is there. Goodness me, I don't know how he's got down there. Goodness gracious me, he must have something must have really caught his eye there. And now going over the grid hatch as well then, and now then Vessier is through. Oh no, and there's contact then, and Echo and Vessier is really famous fighting, and Vessier is going to be furious with Echo, I think, on that one. Oh goodness me, or was it, or is Echo going to be furious on Vessier? I think both of them will be furious with each other personally. Hopefully there's no damage from either car. The Echo is now in third position there. This is crucial for Dynamo Dan, and Jitter's going to be like, how is this man still able to reduce the arrears there once again there? Because look, Jitter, who's well up the road now, but all chaos is happening behind him there. Itemizer's got a 3-second penalty, unfortunately. Marsky is now up into 12th position here. Absolutely, Percy is an unhappy chappy because Brooksy, because Brooksy should have been given driver of the day there. Yes, I absolutely agree with that one wholeheartedly. He was a bit robbed because actually Brooksy's into a very fine second position. Unbeknownst to me, whilst I've been looking very intrigued into this battle here, I haven't really seen Brooksy's gone a bit under the radar actually. I'll see that. But at the moment, back on board with the Ferrari as we've got a very close battle between Marsky and he's on the outside. Great manoeuvre there from Marsky, who was quite high up the order, but unfortunately him and Scooby Stewart, he was about 8th or 9th in this race. Him and Scooby Stew did come to blows. So Vestia's got a 9-second penalty now. I think that's frustration from the AlphaTauri driver, but that's 9 seconds of penalty. I'll bring up the penalty situation in just a jiffy. If I can find there's TK's into the pits. A yellow flag in 1 there. Someone is crawling in 1 now. I didn't see who it was. Donovan Dan, and this is important in his championship bid here, isn't it, for the Ferrari driver? He knows that this could be as crucial as him winning or losing the championship in bronze this season. He has led the bronze championship for majority of the way. I'm going to say for about 85% of the way. And of course, remember that Vettel only led the championship in 2010 for the final race in Abu Dhabi. Yellow flag then is one of the Williamsons are Styles that get out of the way. Styles, hats off to Styles, TK and TK, Duncan Dave, and Kiki, and Kaz, and all the New Potatoes, Scooby Stew, Vintage for keeping going in what has been a very tough race there. Kiki off the circuit there, and coming over the grid hatch as well to complete lap 30 out of 31 then. Here comes Dynamo down there, he knows how aggressive Echo is at defending here, but of course he needs to go for it. This is the difference between winning and losing the championship. Styles is going to pounce, and I think he's just trying to get out of the way here. Oh, magnificent stuff. And yellow flag is the yellow flag is just the cars getting out of the way there. And here comes Donovan Dan again. Then he's over the crest of the hill into turn 5 here. Echo positions his car wonderfully here. And Donovan Dan is going to get very frustrated, I think, isn't he? With this one and with this one at the moment now, as I looked up and I thought someone went flying off into the barrier then, goodness gracious me, as I nearly fell sideways, goodness me. So Dynamo Dan, I think we're going to have to check to see what his, he's only got 14, both drivers are very low on energy here. This is an important part of the championship now, is that this is going to get very fruity indeed. Driver of the day vote is finally up there. It's only taken me like half, like almost 4 or 5 laps there to do so. But yes, keep your votes coming in then, ladies and gents. Of course, yellow flag then is one of the Williams there just getting out of the way. Now as we come out of the final turn and lap 32 out of 33, we got 2 more laps to go, then 2 more tours of the Argyle circuit. McLaren in the pits then over the grid hatches once again. Here comes Dynamo Dan then using the DRS to his advantage. Echo doesn't have DRS, and does he? But he has a quick motor car down the start finish straight. All 20 drivers are still running this race. Hats off to all 20 of you for sticking out this one there. And just on board, now. Then as I got penalty situation. Stalls up to 28 seconds of penalties, and look, 3 seconds for Ginner. That shouldn't affect him here. 9 seconds for Vestia. That could affect him. Itemizer and Brooksy. Itemizer on 3, Brooksy on 9. 3 for Swanshanks, no for sloppy seconds there. Very impressive sloppy seconds. He normally collects penalties like they're going out of fashion. 6 seconds on 6 second penalty, which means Sarah Smasher is currently on the fringes of the points as well. On the second, or on the final lap then, almost in this Portuguese Grand Prix. Donovan Dunn at this moment in time, then the gap between himself and Ginner is about 5 points, or 6 points, I think it is actually. 6 points, you get there in the end, Sean. It could go down to 3 in this race then, which means that he would only lose, it would only be 24 points in the World Championship, and that is why it's so crucial this one is here. The final turn then, and there's a car in front. Echo didn't have I thought he would have had the DRS and on board with Donovan Dan, but he's too far back, isn't he? Unfortunately for Donovan Dan as we go into turn 1 there. And Dynamo Dan there is pushing on here, isn't he? Oh, he's almost right underneath the gearbox. I think he's going to lose momentum now, coming out of turn 5 and sloppy slope here down the back straight. And Dynamo Dan, this could be his final chance here. He's too far back, isn't he? And he doesn't want to risk it all, does he, for a wild lunge either? I don't think that might be it then. That might be the day done then for Dynamo Dan. But full position and a good recovery drive then for Dynamo Dan. I think it's certainly I think that it could have been a lot worse today, but however, he's once again lost points to Ginner, and once again Ginner has extended his lead in the Drivers' Championship, going with 2 more rounds to go in the World Championship. 52 points up for grabs here. Diamond down all over the back of Ekkonen. Speed Kai on his debut for bronze is going to come through to win the Portuguese Grand Prix. What a performance there from Speed Kai. Magnificent stuff indeed. I love it as well. What a finish there. But Ginner is going to extend his lead in the World Championship as well then. And but how many points Biden? This is crucial. But I think Echo is just about done it, has he? He has just about done it. A great drive once again for Echo to get another podium here tonight. Dynamo Dan in 4th position now. He has lost out points to Ginner again, but I think he'll be happy to come on 4th. But this is getting mission critical now in the World Championship between Dynamo Dan and Ginner, isn't it? And once again, Ginner has outscored Dynamo Dan there by 6 points there. Oh my goodness gracious me there. Let's go back to this race. A great drive here from Speed Kai. A performance of a lifetime here. I was only 500 seconds away from Vestia there in the battle for 4th and 5th. On his debut there, Speed Kai, he certainly did live up to his name there, didn't he? Great drive from Speed Kai in the lead here. Ginner, who was second today, and I think he'll be happy with that then as he extends his lead once again in the World Championship with just 2 races to go, and he is now in a position to win it at the Chinese Grand Prix in a week's time there for Ginner. What an incredible run that Ginner's been on here, as we're just waiting for Kaz to come home in a superb in a 60 position. But hats off to Kaz there for hats off to Kaz for driving with all the concerns going on there in Canada today. And the McLaren of Speed Kai is on top of the podium here tonight, and he'll be very happy with that. What a win then on his debut here in bronze tonight. Then the Mercedes drivers are going to be very happy with that indeed. Then as he sprays the bubbly, the joy constructors will go on until tomorrow night. The AlphaTauri cannot celebrate just yet. All 8 drivers cannot get the bubbly out tonight then, but I'm sure that they could have it. They'll be getting the bubbly out, putting the bubbly on ice for tomorrow night then, as for the AlphaTauri team then. So the Joy Constructor still goes on for one more night then. It is not done and dusted yet. Let's take a look at the final classification then from the Portuguese Grand Prix here in the Archive. It is Speed Kai 1 is David Race from pole position to checkered flag then, but it's a very tense affair. Ginner second stayed over. Ginner said he extends his lead in the World Championship, and he now is in a position to win the championship in China in a week's time. And what can Dynamo Dan do? Echo in his superb third position there, fighting tooth and nail once again for that final podium there. Dynamo Dan there finished 4th today, and once again damage limitation for the Ferrari driver, and trying to keep that gap down as minimal as possible, but it is becoming mission impossible now for Dynamo Dan. He needs to stop the roll that Ginner is on. Vestier in 5th position there. He's got 9 seconds worth of pounds in the end there, but 5th position nonetheless. Itemize are in 6th then. Sloppy seconds in 7th from 18th to 7th. Good stuff indeed there. He had a couple of spins as well. Swanshanks with injury and all in 8th position. Brooksy, great drive to 9th there. Serious Mushroom 10th position. He's an unhappy Mushroom now. Something went wrong for him in McLaren. 11th position is Sick as Muck. Marsky in 12th. New Potato, Nightmare Return in 13th position now. 14th is Vintage. Scooby Stew in 15th. Cars in 16th. Duncan Dave 17th. TK 18th. Kiki in 19th. And Styles in a 20th position. Hats off, there is no retirements in this race. Driver of the Day award is still still out at the moment. 40% for Jenner, 40% for Mushroom, 20% for Echo. Jenner, who is in the gantry now, a great drive to second today. Then you almost had an issue with the I can't remember what corner it was, and there's so many corners in the infield. I think it's a turn 8 there. So that seems to be the only blemish today. Then, but are you satisfied with second here today?
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, I was pushing for it win, and then I spun, and it were like, no, I've got to keep it safe. As long as I were in front of Dynamo, then I were happy.
I know. And was that spin like a knock on of what happened with Speed Kai and Echo then? Because it was getting very close, and then Speed Kai, I think, got on the loud pedal a bit too early, which almost spurred him into a spin. Did you get distracted by that?
Yeah, definitely. I was watching the cars in front a bit too much rather than my braking point, to be honest. So yeah, I went in a bit too fast and back end wanted to overtake front end.
And you went on I think you went on the alternative strategy, the hards to the mediums then, which it seemed to favour the drivers then in gold then as well. So and that was that the strategy that you set fair for most of this race, then, or was you and ahhing before this one?
To be honest, I've since my streak started, I've started on the hard, so six what ain't broken.
That's exactly that. And now in China, then I think that this could be your day of reckoning. That could be the one where you win the championship after you have been on an incredible run of form. Then the Dynamo down there is just about keeping up. Then, but I think it's your sheer speed that is very much winning you this championship. Now going into China, this is your first attempt at winning the title. Then how are you going to view that? Then surely it's going to be a pressure cooker in there.
Aye, and there's always the heat in China. I raced in China on 100% league last week, and I came second, so I'm really happy. I've had some practice, and have a bit more practice and should be up for it.
Good stuff indeed. Then I can't wait for that one. That one's going to be an almighty race indeed. Then brilliant stuff today, Jenna. Well done. Echo, another very much defensive prowess from yourself, man. I was going to say, we might have to call you Rafael Varane at the end of this season. Absolutely brilliant defending once again. But it was getting very close between yourself and Speed Kai. Then you was determined not to let that man pass.
Yeah, I decided to just really go for it. I knew that I needed to get outscore Serious Mushroom by 4 points in this race. So I was like, I've got to go for broke. Honestly, it's bittersweet. I really shouldn't be here right now. It should be Dynamo down in third, because I had contact with Bevezia, and I thought I was side by side. And you know what? No. So I really shouldn't be here. I should be getting a penalty right now, so I shouldn't even be in the comment box.
Oh goodness me! Well, to be honest, you're a better man than me, because I wouldn't have admitted that. but talking about that side by side downstream one, it looked very very close indeed. Then, and it is a very fast corner downstream one. But you feel that you was a bit behind the 8 ball, and Vesser was allowed that corner.
Not a bit. I was like a couple of wheels behind. I think normally having the inside line into turn 1 is always the best line. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have that to my advantage. I did hit it up on the apex, that was fine, but I was still behind Bevezia, and like I say, I'm completely at fault. At the time, I thought, I was a bit closer than I thought I was, but I just looked back at the footage now, and no, I'm not. So I want to hold my hands up, and if I end up getting a penalty and lose P3, then so be it.
And that could have big ramifications in the championship as well. But let's go back to the positives. You started on the medium tires and went to the hards at the end then. In hindsight, with looking at how the result played out, did you think that was the wrong decision then? Because it looked like that those hard tires were very... they didn't want to fire up, did they, when you came up the pits by the looks of things?
No. It took a little while. It took a bit longer than I expected. But I think going medium hard to always have that better start. I always go for that, so I didn't really exactly want to start on hard. Maybe I should give it a go one day, but I think the strategy going from mediums to hards was... I think it would have been the same as hards to mediums anyway, give or take a couple of tenths, but I'm okay with the strategy I had. So.
Really well done to Deco, really well done to Jinner as well, fantastic stuff. And of course, well done to Speed Kai, who very much was Speed Kai, wasn't he, at the end of that one? Fantastic stuff indeed. And that's going to be it there for Portugal here in the archive. What an incredible 3 races we've had here then. Of course, we've crowned a Constructors Champion. We've crowned a Drivers Champion as well. The Bronze Constructors Championship was all done and dusted last week in Brazil. There is still the Drivers Championship to come, either Jinner's or Dynamo Dan's way, either in China or in Abu Dhabi then. So don't go anywhere for bronze. It's going to be fantastic. Tomorrow night, it could be the Alpha Tower that wins the Joint Constructors in Imola. So that could be a bit of bubbly being popped on at Wednesday night. Fantastic. We return in gold as we go to China then, the Far East for round 23 of the World Championship, and Troye is on a rich run of form at the moment, isn't he there? Can he be stopped? What has Boxstar got left in his box of tricks? We'll find out on Sunday night. Be there. Goodbye.